What if I told you that developing a greater sense of flow and freedom on the drum set was not only easier than you think, but you probably already have the tools and the skills to make that happen. All you need is a method and the right frame of mind. Let me show you. It's not like I'm tired or anything. It's just that, well, no, I am tired. And for a few reasons. The first is with all of this COVID stuff, I haven't really been playing too much. I've been working on other people's songs. I've been trying to get my thoughts together to put out a lesson pack, which is it's going to be a ways away. I want to make this more of a regular thing. So unfortunately, it seems like I have to kind of rush to get this, but I'm hoping that a new addition to my workflow will help things out. I had to get rid of my Canon 5D Mark III for several reasons. The first being that I could not get it to output continuous HDMI, and that's important because I'm live streaming. If it were just this channel and just these videos, it would serve its purpose fairly well. It doesn't do 4K, but I'm not really concerned about 4K. I loved the image quality. It's just sensor over pixels, or the quality of pixels over the sensor, but I'll let the photography people talk about all that stuff. So yeah, so I picked up a new camera, and for all of you guys that are wondering, it is the Fujifilm X-T4. It's fantastic. It has in-body stabilization. It has a boost stabilization mode, and some people, don't like that because it still has this weird sort of warbly look, and it crops in. I'm not like a filmmaker like that. I'm not a cinematographer, even though I'm starting to do more sort of interview documentary style stuff. But it works, and I'm hoping that I will never miss focus again on these, because I just haven't had the flip out screen, which I can see, and I can see that it's running. And I had a 7DD that had all of those things, and I ended up selling it to help get the money for the black magic that's now behind me. And I don't know, I think these cameras complement each other, and I don't want to bore you too much because I have a lesson for you guys, and I hope this is helpful. I get some questions, not a lot of questions, but some, and enough to see a trend. People want to know a few things. First, how do you work on flow? Second, how do you get that hi-hat under control? And third, how in the world do I keep a bunch of these patterns sort of in my mind? Like, how am I thinking about things as I go around the kit? And how can I develop my own fluidity when I'm playing? So the answer is, well, with a lot of thought and practice, and hopefully not too much self-deprecation. You want to leave that to me. So I want to give you an exercise, a set of exercises actually. I want to show you, this doesn't even scratch the surface with what you guys can do with this stuff. I think my autofocus just pumped. I wonder, well, I'll learn how to set that. So I've only had the camera for like 3 or 4 days, and it took me probably a full day to learn how to set the aperture, the shutter speed, and the ISO. And there's a lot to deal with this. And so I'm really anxious to get it back in my hands and do some real world stuff. But I'll also be able to do like B-roll convincingly, hopefully. I'm trying to improve my lighting game. None of this matters to the lesson. Let's talk about some key concepts. And these concepts are things that I've talked about on my channel before. Inversions, maybe partials. I know I've done Instagram stuff on partials. Remind me, I need to do all of the quick tip stuff and make sure that it's on YouTube too, so you guys have all of that stuff. This is what happens when I'm tired. I just like my brain just sort of goes and I lose focus. I played 2 3-hour gigs today, about 6 hours worth of playing, and I played the day before and the day before and the day before, and I'm not used to playing that much with other human beings anymore. Maybe I'll get a chance to talk about that. For now, just know that everything is above board with my playing situation. The college that I'm playing for, the students have to mask up in order to even get into the buildings, and everybody, like the cafe that we play in, the servers are behind plexi and everything is individually wrapped, and the tables are strange. They've elongated a lot of the booths, so I mean there's well over 6 feet between the students, and it's a very interesting situation. And we're set apart enough, and the stage most of the time is big enough for us to be a comfortable distance apart without having to worry. So I think safety is important, so I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves in that regard. That's my second tangent. Oh my gosh. So what we're going to do, and hopefully this is something that you've encountered before you advanced and intermediate players. But for me, even though I've worked on similar things, I didn't really see it through. And so now, just something about me real fast. Sometimes when I present things, I'm learning it too. So you guys are kind of on a journey with me as I learn and discover things, and I feel like those things are helping me. You guys get to see those, and please don't hate me too much for it. Sometimes I don't have the experience. I've been working on this for a couple of weeks. Probably this is my 3rd or 4th week into it, and I don't like talking about anything that I don't really know how to do on here. So obviously I'm going to demonstrate all of them, but they're not going to be up to the same technical or whatever, because to me that's not the point. The point is to get comfortable shifting phrases and hearing how, oh my gosh, I just need to talk about the exercise, don't I, instead of rambling. So 3-note partials and 16th notes: 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and E and a E and a E and a E and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 E, a 2 E, a 3 E, a 4 E, a. So you're going to put your kick drum in between all of those, and you're going to play that in that order. So 1 E and kick, 2 E and kick. The hands, for now, are all alternating single strokes, so you don't have to think about the sticking. I think that we tend to overvalue stickings at times. I use stickings myself, but the stickings shouldn't be... Stickings are vehicles for ideas, not ideas themselves, and so you should be able to reproduce a sound with many different types of sticking. Some are more convenient than others because they lay across the drums differently, but you shouldn't be reliant on stickings to give you ideas. They should only help you get the things out of your head that you hear. You want to translate these concepts, these sounds on the drum set, hopefully musically. But yeah, so licks, patterns, stickings, they're all just vehicles for getting that sound out. So again, back to single strokes. So the single strokes with the partials: 1 E and then the kick, 2 E and then it shifts, E and the kick is on the quarter note, 1 and partials, the kick is on the E, and then finally the kick is on the and you have 1 E, a 2 E, a 3 E, a 4 E. I'm gonna do this with hi-hats on eighth notes because I'm working on that. If you're working on quarter notes, the upbeat 16th notes, offbeat eighth notes, dotted eighth notes, do you. All of those things are completely viable. You want to do some clave? Fine. I can't do it. I've never practiced it. But if that's where you are, this would be a great thing to add. So you want to play the whole exercise in that sequence first. So most of the time, sometimes, not most of the time, sometimes this is where people stop or get stuck because they see it as an exercise and that's it. But with you working on things in a specific order, there's no guarantee that you can go and, just for the sake of clarity, I'm going to label mine 1, 2, 3, and 4, just so you know. So the 1 is 1 E and, number 2 is E and a, number 3 is 1 and a, and number 4 is 1 E So you spend all that time practicing 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And what about 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, 3 to 4? All of those are possibilities that it would be prudent to work out because there's no guarantee that whenever you have to play those, especially like when they're a part of an arrangement or a figure that you have to work, that you're going to get that same order over and over again. You're not going to have the time to set all of that stuff up to go through the pattern and then just work up to it. That's not very musical, that's more mechanical. So you want to work out your possibilities so you have the freedom to kind of do whatever you want. I'm going to do exactly what I just expressed. I'm going to show you 1 to 3. This is not a 3. Why did I do that? It's the second one that we're going to do, but it's the third one on the list. What is wrong with me? 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, and 3 to 4. Hopefully that'll get your ear working a little bit. Also, again, don't leave your hi-hat out. I don't know what hi-hat variation you're working on, but working on your hi-hat in these ways and keeping that locked in is the key to getting that freedom with the hi-hat that you want, so that when you're phrasing around the drum set, you have an anchor. Not in a timing anchor per se, because you still want to be able to hear the subdivisions and you still want to be aware of where the thing is without the hi-hat. The hi-hat musically is very good for stability, for sort of broadcasting to your bandmates what you're thinking. So, because, you know, the real world is things get hairy, and we want, especially when we start reaching for things, we want to be as clear with our playing and our phrasing as humanly possible. I think it's important to lock in whatever ostinato that you're choosing at the time with whatever you're working on. There is one final little concept. We're going to use some old language. Hopefully this is old language, right? The paradiddle, the trusty paradiddle. So we're going to use the paradiddle to turn the phrase or the pattern from right hand to left hand. So we're going to play the partial pattern twice, and then we're going to play the paradiddle on beat 3. And so every time we hit that paradiddle, the pattern is going to shift from right hand lead to left hand lead at the top of each measure of 3/4. And we're going to do that with every single inversion. By the time you're done with this, hopefully you will be a little bit more comfortable, understanding how these partials relate to that specific sound. With maybe you've never worked on putting your bass drum in the gaps before. I hope you have if you found me, but it's really important and something that's a really cool sound. Mixing and matching patterns this way, specifically inversions. This is a great way of thinking about them because you can get a lot more bang for your buck if you have access to any inversion at any time instead of having to go through a specific order of inversions. And this will show you that there is some utility, hopefully, with being able to start or be comfortable with leading right and left, especially when you're trying to express yourself, because there's no guarantee that whenever you hear that idea, that your right hand is going to be available. So you want the idea to flow without any lag, and you don't want to think about, oh my gosh, am I on my right hand or my left hand? You want to just have that avenue there so you can create without any hindrance or technical boundary. That's why we learn these types of things. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know why I jam-packed so much content in this one specifically. I think I just felt bad about the other one because I really only gave you 2 exercises, and I don't know. Like, I'm not at all trying to throw shade on people that only show you one thing. That's a very economical thing to do, and most of those people do much more than I do on a weekly basis. Hopefully you guys know by now, it's not about the patterns, it's about the concepts. And once you understand the process, you can examine your own vocabulary in a much more surgical and analytical way. And then once you start doing that, you can push yourself to a new level, because you will take all of this stuff that you've already learned and turn it on its head, as it were. Thank you guys for watching. And to answer your question, yes, I have lost weight.